Hey kids, this is Ivan. How you doing? Well, I saw somewhere on the internet, it was LinkedIn, Facebook, or something. Um, this study or whatever it says, if you want to get things done, if you want to be really productive, stop multitasking so much. And so this video really isn't about multitasking, but there is a part of multitasking, mentioned in here. If you watch out for it, I may mention the word multitasking again. I probably won't. Other thing I've been thinking about too is that man, I've made a few videos now, and I really like to put them into some more playlists, kind of linked, trains of thought together. That I just haven't had the time to do that. So maybe sometime when I'm kind of bored and I don't have any other video topics, because I got too many rattling around right now. Maybe I'll do that if I have nothing else to do. Something I'd like to. At least it'll help me navigate the site, for crying out loud. And let's see, what other kind of window can I give you into my life right now. Look, this is not Powerade. This is actually Diet A&W today. And yeah, I like drinking out of these. I buy 2-liter bottles. They're economical, but really nice to have in a car. You can close it back up. This has nothing to do with the video. Window into my personal psyche. Okay. Anyhow, what is this video really going to be about? I've been really thoughtful today. After doing these All for One Regime Diabolique recaps, I've had an experience that I haven't had before, or I've had it a little bit, but not to this degree. And I kind of knew what Anthony was up to when he said, "Hey, why don't we all do these recaps and then talk about how we saw each other's characters, how we saw the session, how our characters saw the session." And I'll link a video of his below because he talks about this from time to time in his videos. But I believe the video is called "Telling Each Other's Stories," and so I'll let that video speak for itself for the most part. But it is about that. The other video I'll link below is one I made maybe a month or two ago, where it's talking about opaque versus transparent character motivations. And in that particular video, I was having discussions with people that I know that have just different play styles, different preferences in terms of how they like to play the game, whatever game it is. And their preference was that if your character has internal motivations, if they're having something going on, that you share that you make the game experience richer for everybody by making your motivations, the internal life of your character, transparent right there in the moment. And so, the video that I linked, that I'm going to link, that I made, some time ago, is more about that. I prefer it not to be that way because it's, I like it to be more realistic, for lack of a better word, where like as if you and I know each other for a period of time, we will learn more and more about each other. We're not just going to, vomit our motivations and our internal lives onto each other at first meeting. However, I want to take it from a different tack. One of the things that I found as we had this experience after the game, because we've not only just made those recap videos, but we've been talking on and off in a not just a little private Facebook group for the game, but also like a little group message, and it had some private discussions with each other here and there. Runesinger talked about in his video that I'll link that oftentimes the game master might have a large chunk of the game experience prior to the game, in preparation. And sometimes, when they're having a bad day, the game kind of goes by, goes by them because they're just busy making sure things, run smoothly and all that kind of thing. But this is the game experience after the game. I found this All for One game, we were able to all be present in the moment, so it was very enjoyable. But afterwards, I thought about the game, but when we actually sat down and intentionally talked about each other's characters, not only the given the game from our own perspective, our character's perspective, both in those videos and with each other a little bit, but then talked about how we saw each other's characters, what impressions we had of them, what kind of assumptions we made about them, about what their motivations were, what they were really like. That was really interesting. I've certainly had discussions, every once in a while with other players about each other's characters. However, it was often in the context of this epic thing that happened, or this funny part of the game, and we certainly talked about the funny parts of the game because it was a very funny All for One game. But it was in that kind of context. It wasn't necessarily we didn't talk as much about what we thought of the other people's characters. So this was a different experience, and it's funny in a game which is supposed to be about camaraderie. If you haven't figured it out, All for One, Musketeers, camaraderie. Here we are developing some more group camaraderie as we talk about, each other's characters, as we develop a camaraderie, amongst ourselves as players. So that's really kind of neat. And one of the things that I found happened, which I didn't really think about or expect. That's kind of the multitasking part. Is to me, rather than having this discussion or kind of revealing our motivations or what have you, during the game, having this time after the game where we're unfettered by the immediate needs of the moment, such as you're in a fire, you're being chased by werewolves, whatever the game is, or the perils of your game, or the motivations, or obstacles that you're facing in your game, um, peril of the moment, or priority of the moment, probably a better word. Without having all that kind of weighing you down, or taking your attention, we're able to sit there and focus our attention, on retrospection after the fact, and really have those conversations about each other's characters. I found that really compelling. Sounds a little weird, but I really liked it. And so if you haven't done something like that, I suggest you give it a try. It really, to me, has not only made the characters more real, but has made the group more cohesive, and made it the desire to play again stronger. And not only that, but at least it's enabled me to have a continued experience of the game well after the game. And that's really kind of novel and unexpected. How about that? Who knew?